Hi guys, Ready Made here. Welcome back to my channel. So based on popular demand, we are going to cut and sew a crop hoodie today. So first things first, our measurement calculation. So for our measurement calculation, the shoulder I'm using is 20, so 20 divided by 2 is 10. For the chest I'm using 40 divided by 4 is 10. For my length I'm using 15. For my sleeve I'm using 23, and my round sleeve I'm using 15 divided by 2, I think that's 7.5. So let's get to it. This is a poly material. This is soft poly. Yet it has a stretch to it. This soft poly material that I'm using for this project. So put my fabric on a fold. I'm going to start off by taking my length. So I'll draw out my baseline. All the measurements you're taking will start from this baseline. So I'm taking my length, and the length is 15. Mark that out. I cut that out so I'll have freedom to work properly. Next thing I'm going to take is my shoulder measurement, and for my shoulder I'm using 10. 9 rather, I'm using 9. So it's 18 divided by 2, that's 9. And I'm going to slant that shoulder by 1.5 inch and connect it. So the same measurement that I took for my shoulder is the same thing I'm going to take for my chest line. So from this half inch here, I'm going to come down by 9. And just extend that line. So I'm going to connect to the chest line. Then for my armhole, I'm going to curve this to the shoulder line. So we have our armhole curve. Then on our chest line, we're going to take our chest measurement, which is 40 divided by 4, that is 10, plus half inch allowance for joining. So that's 10.5. And I'm going to take the same measurement for the hem. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut this out. So we're going to trace out this exact same thing for the back piece. The difference is the piece for our back. The armhole is going to come out just a little bit. So we have our front and our back piece, and next thing we're going to work on is our neckline. So for the neckline of the front piece, I'm using 3 inches for wideness and 4 inches for the depth, or 3.5 inches for the depth rather. Extend this to get the neck block. So we have the curve for the neck. That's for the front piece, and then for the back piece, we're going to come down. It's the same wideness. We're going to come down by 1.5 inches. 1.5, and then just curve that. So this is what we have. We're going to cut out the neckline for the back piece first, and then take out your back piece, and we'll cut the neckline for the front piece next. So we have our front piece and our back piece. So for the front piece, how to get that curve here, you visualize it. So you measure how long you want the front piece to be, how down you want it to come. So I'm going to use, I want it to be just right above my bust, so I'm going to use 7. Okay, this is my bust line. I'm going to use 6 inches, but then I'm going to take ½ inch for this thing folding. So that's, I'm going to take out 1 inch for folding rather. So mark it at 7 inches. Why I took 1 inch is that when you use ½ inch to join your hood, ½ inch is gone. So the other ½ inch for folding. So when everything is done, it's going to come back to 6. So we have that line. Next thing we're going to do is to create the curve. So we're going to create that curve, leaving at least 1 inch of fabric here. Because remember, we're going to join this, so ½ inch is going to go. Let's make it 1.5. So 1.5 inch from here, and then we're going to curve this to meet our the line here. I don't know if you can see the curve. Just doing it with free hand. That's it. And we're going to cut that out. So when you open this up, this is what it looks like. So notch your center point. Neckline, notch the center point. And do the same for the back piece, notch the center point of the neckline. Okay, so we have our back piece, and if you lay out the front piece on the back piece, you're going to see the vision we're trying to achieve already. See, it's already coming out the way we want it to come out. So I think I'm going to cut this a little bit higher because it looks like it's going to be down. It's going to be too low for my liking, so I'm going to cut this a little bit higher the curve, I'm going to cut it a little bit higher. So it's just dependent on your preference, what you like. Yep, that's more like it. So next thing we're going to cut out is our sleeve. So for our sleeve, I'm cutting out both sleeves at the same time, and to cut our sleeve, we're going to have to get our armhole measurement. So you're going to measure round the armhole curve, just taking my tape around it like so. And what I have here is 11.5. Let me take that again just to be sure. 11.5. So I'm going to take out ½ inch, because by the time we join the shoulder, ½ inch is going to go out. So I'm using 11 for around armhole measurement. So I'm just going to draw out my baseline. From the baseline, I'm going to come down by 3.5 inch. 3.5 inch is my cap height. So on this 3.5 inches line, I'm going to take my round my armhole measurement. And my armhole measurement is 11. So from this point here, I'm going to place my tape like so in a slanted manner and take my armhole measurement, which is 11. Thank God it's exactly 11, so no fabric is going to waste. And then I'm just going to use my ruler to extend in a slanted form like so. So on this line, I'm going to take the midpoint, and the midpoint of 11 is 4.5. 5.5 rather. So on this midpoint, I'm going to go up by ½ inch. Like so. And then I'm going to connect like an S. Let me just show you. You're going to link this to the ½ inch and then go down and just link this to the end. See, so it looks like an S. And for my sleeve length, I'm using 20. Exactly 20. Okay. So we have our sleeve length 20. And then for our round sleeve, to get my bicep line, I'm just going to come down by 3 inches here. Standard, that's the standard that I use for all my measurements. I just come down by 3 inches. Then I'm going to take my round sleeve measurement, which is my round sleeve is 15 divided by 2, that's 7.5. So I'm going to take 8. And then on my wrist, which is here, I'm going to use 10.5. So 10.5 divided by 2, I think that's around 5.2. Then I'm going to add ½ inch to that. For shaping. So yeah, taking that measurement. So what we're going to do is just to link this together. So there we have it. We're just going to cut this out. Notch the midpoint. So there we have our sleeve. And the last thing, the hood. Not the last, but the hood. So in order to cut the hood, you need to get the measurement for your front neckline and your back neckline. So we're going to get the front piece and the back piece. So these are our front piece. I'll put this on a fold like that and measure the neckline round, and that's 5.5 for the front neckline. Then for the back neckline, I'm going to measure it around same way I measure the front neckline, and a fold like that, and then measure it. That's 4 for the back. So by the time we finish joining the 1/2 inch for the shoulder, it's going to come down to 3.5 for the back and 5. I'm going to take note of that and write it down. Front neckline, front neck is 5, back neck is 3.5. So that's it for the neck. So we're going to take note of that when we're drawing out our when we're cutting out our hoodie. So for the hood height, you're measuring from the nape of your neck down to this other your collarbone here. That's what you're measuring. You're measuring there to there for your hood height. Then measurement for your hood depth is taken from eye to eye, like this, from the back of your from the corner of your eye to the other corner of your eye. So for the hood, our hood height is our hood height is 28 divided by 2, that's 14. I'm going to take the hood height plus 1 inch, which is 14 plus 1, that's 15 for the hood height. So on this line, we're going to take our neck measurement, our front and our back neck measurement. So first things first, you're going to take out 1.5 inch from here, because that's going to serve as the overlap for the hood. Take out 1.5 inches. From this 1.5 inch mark, that will start taking our neck measurement. So the front neck, we got 5. So our front neck 5. Mark that, and from this point you mark your back. Back neck is 3.5. I'm going to add 1/2 inch to that for joining allowance, so that's 4. So for back neckline, we're going to go up by 1 inch, and for the front neckline, we're going to come down by 1 inch. And then we're going to connect all our points together. So I'm going to connect the back, the front neck curve, and then I'm going to connect the back to this front, like that. So we have our neck curve for the hoodie. Then we're going to connect from this point. We're just going to draw a straight line. That's still the hood height line. We're just drawing it out. So Then our hood depth. Our hood depth is 16 divided by 2, which is 8. So from this point now, you're just going to create a curve to merge with this 8. Let me show you. From this point, you're going to curve. Going to go out a bit, like half an inch outward, and then come back inside to meet this line. Yet, just curve that. Can use freehand, can use your curve, whichever one works for you. Yeah, I like to use freehand, then use my curve to like straighten out the line properly. What? Going to curve this inward slightly, just then you curve it outwards to meet the overlap line. Like that. So just curve maybe half an inch inwards or less than, depending on you. You can leave this straight, totally up to you. But I like to give, because our face is not straight, so I just like to give it a little bit of curve. So we're going to cut out the second piece of this hood because it's 2-2. That's, you need 4 pieces of it. So we have our hood. We have 4 pieces of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2. And then we have our sleeves. 2 sleeves. And we have our front piece and our back piece. On our next video, I'm going to show you guys how to join these pieces together. So don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, because I am going to be posting the sewing video next.